Oh, ho, 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 ho. Yes, MCOC news time, and it is indeed the 23rd of August 2017. Had to check the little clock there just to verify that, but it is indeed a Wednesday. And yeah, there's a lot of things that have happened, some crazy stuff within the community, mainly towards announcements and stuff Kabam's done, rather than stuff I'd say that people have done. So without further ado, let's just get into it. Our first story is all about the release of 15.0. Now this is a week away. Usually we're experiencing these updates like on the first week of a month, like between the 4th and say the 10th, depending on how things fall. But it's kind of crazy that we're going to get this on the 30th of August, which is good for me because I get to find out whether or not I failed miserably or not at getting a Legends title. So hey, positives in some ways, but at the same time, oh bollocks. Anyway, 15.0 has been released. There's a lot of things that have been announced with this. A new event quest saying, have you seen this dog? And obviously this is all about Lockjaw. Oh, he's a cute big bulldog. But yeah, it's like after a long hiatus from the affairs of the contest, the Inhuman King, Blackagar Boltagon, Black Bolt, has sent his trusted envoy, Kamala Khan, boo, to bring you summoner to him for a meeting. Greeted by the Inhuman Queen, Medusa, you will learn that the Inhuman royal dog, Lockjaw, has been taken for ransom. Oh, poor thing. But still, you know, that's kind of like good to kind of form a quest. I'm assuming that's going to be the event quest as opposed to, you know, a special challenge event. Obviously they usually say challenge in the title, but it's kind of like, that's cool. I like that concept, and it's good that they're going to keep it very Inhumans like. But however, putting in Mr. Kingpin does do a typical Kabam thing, which is take things completely into left field with regards to kind of giving a structured comic book story around it. But that's just how they work. It is a contest of champions, and in keeping with the scheme of the comic book of Marvel Contest of Champions, which obviously the game is based on source material wise, that is how it rolled. There was different characters from random universes, but still it should be very fun. Also in 15.0 news, there is a huge Alliance Wars update, and we'll kind of cover that in a moment. But the Glory Store, not a glory hole anymore, but the home of tier 2 Alpha Catalyst fragments. The price of these, this is something that I'm imagining is going to be quite high. If you consider the amount of people that bought special deals in the past, they should not be felt devalued by the fact that they've bought that and now you can get it as well, it's not for, we could say for free to get it, as opposed to kind of using physical money in order to kind of get there. But the way that things are kind of moving, I'm anticipating the value of the tier 2 Alpha Catalyst fragments, in a deal or not, to reduce down depending on where Kabam are going with the starring system, as well as the, you know, are we going to see a tier 3 Alpha Catalyst in the future, and that's the reason that it's more available? Who knows, but obviously speculation with that. Loyalty Store as well has been refreshed. We see 3 brand new Alliance Wars boosts, and as well the class boosts in the Loyalty Store are now being more powerful, so that is again to match what content is coming in. Could be more helpful to kind of get through difficult stuff, as well as get through stuff like Labyrinth of Legends, adding that on, providing that hey, you know, it's the availability of those things. You know, will we have to wait a certain amount of days? Are they going to be a constant thing? Probably not, but we'll see how things go. The bug fixes are not really kind of noticeable for me. I've not encountered any of these. Nightcrawler one, haven't overly kind of seen that, but you know, I guess that's there as well. There's a few other kind of micro changes, but there are still a lot of bug fixes in my mind, as well as another player's mind, that need to be addressed. I don't think the parry system is as good as it should be anymore, and that needs to be addressed. We had a terrible time with that with map 6 from my own perspective. The next thing with that is I'm not seeing any Daredevil whiffing kind of improvements, unless that has been a micro fix and it didn't really require announcement. But I do feel that it's important to announce these things, Kabam. When you're telling people that you have understood what they've said, you fixed it, but you haven't said anything, then it's hard to kind of get you know, a tick box for us as the community. And obviously we talked about it earlier, and it was regards to the Alliance Wars update. I'm going to use the summarized version. There is a long-winded version which you can go and see and get some more details, but basically there's a lot of changes. It's going to mean that diversity is a key aspect to any Alliance Wars. which allows more bosses, more boss fights, 5 mini bosses to protect, and it's just going to like really revolutionize the map. Bigger, which is a good thing and also a bad thing. Energy gets refreshed every 60 minutes as opposed to 90 minutes, which is handy in some ways, so you're not waiting around too long. But at the same time, there is a lot of movement required, so obviously we do need that extra thing. And it's kind of then similar to Alliance Quest. It's actually becoming a little bit more like Alliance Quest by the moment. But there are added elements to it. There are things like thorns and slash tires are going, which is like, okay, crazy. Skirmish rewards give you gold for each attacker and defender kill earned in Alliance Wars. That's nice. Hopefully it's a significant amount. And that's the thing. Obviously, we want to receive more stuff from this, because Alliance Wars is a big chunk of time, you know. But at the same token, you know, you make a mistake against the top alliance, then you know you're screwed. And obviously, the boosts that have been added into the loyalty store are going to be more effective and helpful for this. And it's one of the boosts is like regeneration, which is kind of cool. There's a lot of Marvel source material which kind of will cite that a character that you like has regeneration, so it's kind of good in some ways to see that in. It's something that I would have liked to have seen with regards to a synergy at some point, maybe like a regeneration synergy, I don't know. But the fact that we get recovery as well as the regeneration boost means that we got this kind of level of source material authenticity kind of creeping its way back in. And more details on the boosts can be found. Advanced power boost, we've got the combat regeneration boost, which we talked about, an invulnerability boost, which is kind of cool. I'm kind of a bit apprehensive with this stuff because it does say that it's Alliance Wars boosts, which is annoying because I would like to see them actually be working in other aspects. I mean, putting them into a quest situation would mean that players that maybe struggled with difficult content could then have access to these boosts. So I do hope there is a little bit of leniency and they can be used in other areas. But you just don't know with Kabam. Obviously, things are money makers, so maybe they won't. But obviously very early to tell, and we'll see when this gets entered in. And the final point on this story is that Kabam say that a revamp is on the way for Alliance Wars, and there's been like no kind of great significant change with regards to rewards that you get from Alliance Wars. So we have to wait until the closer the point to the 6 stars being released to get an idea of how they're going to change it. Hopefully, obviously, we get more stuff from it. But yep. Lots of changes afoot with Alliance Wars. Hopefully we see a definite improvement. And people have been very vocal with this and kind of put onto the discussion forum like how they think it's a good idea. Some have questioned a few things. Some saying, oh boy, I can fight 5 magic / Dormammu mini bosses instead of 3. Sounds fun. So there's an element of sarcasm there with it. So that's kind of like, it's difficult to kind of judge it now on how it's going to be. A lot of people will have reservations about it. Some people will welcome it, but we'll just wait until it's released. Oh, just briefly touching on it, thank you to everybody that shared and tried to get in contact with the person from Core, the Alliance, in order to kind of discuss his Grandmaster Crystal, what it truly means for the game's economy. It was a case that his post was deleted by Kabam. I have made contact and we are going to agree to do either an interview or it's going to be a kind of discussion where I put it up here and we discuss it on the MCOC News video. I'm hoping we can do an interview, but the date and time has to be booked, and also I have to get another copy because I've only read it once through, so obviously I've not got sufficient questions ready. So shout out to I think it's Crusader. We're going to set that up at a later date, and it is a very interesting thing and another kind of concept to somebody that spends money on the game. And obviously we have to take that into consideration. It's not always about being a free-to-play player. It's about people's investing money into it and how they feel as a stakeholder, as being a paying stakeholder in the game, and what they're getting out of it as a result, and how they feel maybe devalued by the changes that have been made in the game. Our final story, and I'm not too certain on this, but I'm pretty certain that these deals that have been introduced, obviously the 4-star signature stones, 5-star signature stone deals, and as well the 3-star one with the 4-star signature stone and crystal deal kicker, as it has gone down. Like, this is reduced in price, which is something that I was pretty certain was going to happen. We see this kind of like micro devaluation here, based on the fact that 5 stars, you know, 6 stars are going to replace 6 stars, but 5 stars with it being the more prominent Star Edge champion in the game. So difficult times, man, difficult times, but it has started with regards to the price being reduced. So thank you very much for watching this episode of MCC News. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button. Remember to subscribe and have notifications on, so when MCC News pops up that you see it in your inbox to watch. The next thing is, if you have an opinion on any of the stuff that we've covered, your thoughts on the Signature Stone deals and about devaluation, as well as other aspects to the 15.0 update, then leave them in the comments below. Like I said, I'm hoping we can get, by the weekend, do like a big bumper edition of MCC News, feature some videos, and also have that interview with Crusader. That's going to be pretty exciting. So yeah, follow me on social media, link is in the description, and as always, I shall catch you on the flip side. Bye bye for now. And there's good things, and there's bad things, and there's things within. Fucking hell. Dying.